Hey, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's me, Ed. I know we probably don't recognize me without the hat. It's Ed McKinley from Massachusetts, and you're watching Student Law. I'll try again. Cut. All right. And you're watching StudentLoanJustice.org, Thursday evening, September 24th, 2020, live stream. And this, I am not joking when I say this. This is going to be my own personal briefestest live stream ever. Not just because I have nothing to say, actually plenty of things to say. If you've ever seen any of my live streams, you know I got a lot to say. But I don't have a lot of time tonight, so what I'm going to say really boils it all down to what needs to be said. We need a hell of a lot more people helping us out here, because we are kicking a good-sized dent in the side of this entire situation, and would really like to be able to accelerate the rate at which we are doing this. And man, we've got a virtual bottomless pit, unfortunately, of people who have been dramatically impaired financially and in other ways because of their predatory, corrupt student loan debt. So just a couple actions today that we're really asking people to please either continue with or get off the bench and jump in so that we can raise our voices and be heard with what we're with what we're about here. I say it all the time. There's one thing standing between us and turning this thing around 180 degrees, and that's us. Yeah, we have the control. We have the ability to do this. Boy, this music is really getting me jeeped up. So if you go on the Facebook page, you'll see one action for today that takes like literally under 20 seconds. And it's important. It may not seem important all by itself. It's basically a Twitter to Jill Biden, Dr. Jill Biden, wife of presidential candidate and former Vice President Joe Biden. And, you might say to yourself, well, why would I want to take a moment to send a tweet to Jill Biden? Well, I would say the best answer to that question is because I asked you to, and I need your help. And, she is somebody with obvious, immediate, and strong influence over somebody whose influence, whether we like him or not, we need to enlist. So if you look down below this quick live stream, you'll see a link to that. Now, I also posted a link, and you're not going to believe this, because I hardly ever talk about it. The petition. Yes, the petition, which has begun to provide some of the best traction we've had in a long time. And that's with a relatively small number of people who are really doing the legwork here. And what they're doing is working. We have over 600,000 signatures. We have dramatically increased our media coverage using the petition as leverage. We have grown our membership by probably 15%, 20% maybe more since we started the petition. And it's just plain old the right thing to do. So I posted that also. Right above or below, wherever you're seeing my live stream. I hope that you will post it to 10 to 20 different media outlets before you close your eyes and go to sleep tonight. So the music is telling me that we are out of time. And we really don't need a Ford commercial. But please, folks, we are making progress, whether you feel it or not, no matter how far away you think the solution to this issue is. Look, stuff like this always seems really far away until one day it's not. It's not a question of whether or not this system is going to fail. It already has. It's being held up, on fumes, really, by the few people who are still managing to squeeze some money out of it into their own pockets. But it's not a matter of when this is going to uh, all come to a crashing halt, but how, and and in what way can we control our destinies so that when this system is finally euthanized and put on ice until it can be burned and have its ashes scattered somewhere in a desert, we need to continue to raise our voices as much as we possibly can. We need to continue to be doing what we are doing. It is working. We are getting the results we're looking for. We'd like to get more. We're not being greedy. We're just doing this is what needs to be done. So please, I say it all the time. It's not a spectator sport coming here. This is an action page. It's what it's intended to be. If you're not sick and tired of being sick and tired enough to be able to take 5, 10, 15 minutes a day to post some links, send a couple emails, retweet a couple of tweets, I have no idea what could possibly get you off your butt in order to, if not for me, if you're just doing it entirely for yourself, I don't care. I'm not here to judge anybody what their motives are. This is a really, really miserable situation that our government has allowed to exist for far, far too long. And I'm not going to ask why anymore. And I'm not going to sit here and say, well, maybe if all the legislators knew what was going on, they all know exactly what's going on. There's only one thing, and only one thing that stops us from taking back our power, and that is us. That is, there are well over 45 million people who are suffering and losing sleep over a predatory, unconstitutional, and corrupt lending system that is not shown the will so far to put itself out of its own misery, and it's extending our misery. And we do have the power. We have the numbers, folks. It's overwhelming. We could conceivably be one of the most powerful political voices in the country, and that's not an exaggeration. Not even close. So I'm going to leave it there. I know that this is pretty brief for me, but I hope that I made at least a couple of points, and if I inspired one person, 10 people, 15 people, 20 people, whatever, which should be in the thousands, to take this action. When 5,000 people out of the seemingly clear blue sky retweet a tweet on this topic to someone like Jill Biden, I wish I had a way to help you understand the impact that has. So with just the people we have here, if a third of them decided to take action, we would increase our current volume level by many decibels. And eventually, of course, our goal would be to raise it to enough decibels to just simply crash the system, allow ourselves to be extricated from the wreckage as whole as we possibly can, and let the system move on from there. I don't know what else. I'm not really looking beyond this particular point. So thanks everybody, anyone who took the time to listen to this live stream. Thank you. Those of you, we usually have quite a few who watch the recorded version, which will stay up on the Facebook page for pretty much as long as you want to look at it. I come out here a couple nights a week. I'm obviously not a professional broadcaster. This is not a professional studio. We are, in fact, a grassroots organization, and I come out to, provide a little bit of break to Alan Collins as well. And I don't know whether or not, if you're new here or if you just very occasionally touch base. Alan is a guy. Movements like this don't move. They don't exist. They don't succeed without at least one Alan Collins in the mix. And this is a guy who has remarkably dedicated his life up to this point to helping. I'm sure it started helping himself. That's how I started. and shortly into that began to realize that this was an enormous problem. This wasn't. I wasn't. I was not the exception. I was the rule, and I'm pissed. And this is the only way left. I've tried everything else that I can possibly imagine, and you can do that. We're welcome to do that too, but let me save you the time. Please take these links that we're putting out here and spread them far and wide. Target the people we ask you to primarily, but spread it anywhere else you'd like. I'll be back probably a couple nights next week. And again, thanks to anybody who's here listening. I'd be amiss not to say that I am well aware that there are many circumstances going on in this country right now that are causing a great deal of challenge to a lot of people. This is one too, and this has been going on for a very long time, affecting an enormous number of people. And yeah, it doesn't get the cachet and the publicity that it should, but that's our fault now. We own that. If we want this to get the attention, the publicity, and the correction that it deserves, we have to insist upon it, and we have to scream far and loud. There's just no other way. Uh, this is one significant issue that we can take care of, that we can resolve. There are others that are occurring right now, hopefully that we will resolve too at some point, but um, some of them maybe we can, some of them maybe we can't. But this one I know we can, and more easily than you might think. We're closer than you may think, much closer. We've gone from being considered an obscure, fringe, you know, uh, grassroots organization to very much mainstream, and as is evidenced by numerous politicians of consequence, uh, publicly fighting for variations of what we're looking for. Now, granted, many of them are not to our satisfaction, but they are so much closer to what we are shooting for, and we own a lot of that. That's a lot of the reasoning for that is to our credit. So please, folks, it's not you're not wasting your time doing what the work we're doing here. So that said, a couple more weeks, a couple nights next week. I hope to be out here and see folks. I hope it's helpful. And any suggestions, anything else that you'd like to see me presenting out here, any information that you are seeking, if I can do that, I will. But mostly, I'm just out here to try to educate, inform, and hopefully inspire a few folks to up their game here. So Thursday night, September 24th, uh, studentloanjustice.org. I'm Ed McKinley. Everyone have a good night.